Oh my God. He's beautiful. Holy. Whoa. Wait a minute. Whoa. Oh my God. What the? Pyrois. Okay, so Zenless Zone Zero just made a huge drop with the new agent record of Pyrois. Jeez. Let's talk about it a little bit, and we can get into some of the details here. Agent record Pyrois, grip tight the reins tempered by the light of dawn, but scorched never fades beneath the skin until they step onto the promised golden chariot once more. Man, so this is going to be what looks like a playable extension of the two twins. Now there is a little bit of story and reasoning behind this, but we won't get into this in this video because I feel like people haven't got to that part of the story yet, myself included. But it basically looks like the twins or the siblings are getting a JoJo stand, and I'm so curious about this. But here we go. After a string of heart-pounding, harrowing events, this mysterious power lying deep within Phaethon's body finally took shape as an independent, summonable combat entity, etheric other Pyrois. Now, one of the cool things about this name that some people, I'm sure a lot of people probably know, is the connection to Phaethon. Phaethon is a story in Greek mythology. I think he's the god, he's the son of the god of Helios, the god of the sun. And there was some story about Phaethon taking Helios's chariot and flying too close to the sun, and he ended up getting speared by Zeus. So very interesting story, similar to Icarus with the wax wings flying too close to the sun and all that. But I digress. Pyrois was actually one of the 4 horses of those chariots, and the other one was Eos, right? And of course, Eos is in the game. I don't know if this is the exact one. It's number 1. I don't know which one Eos is. I think it's this one actually. So this is one of the 4 horses of the chariot. They haven't in the game. I don't think they've announced who the other 2 are. I guess that's going to be a mystery. But the second one seems to be announced, which is so cool. And I'm sure later on as we get into the story, because I think we're in like I'm personally in season 1, chapter 2. I'm sure that's going to make more sense to myself and other people following along in my story as the time goes on. But it continues here. It is Phaethon's blade and shield, their manifestation of strength, and the projection of a blazing soul. Along with the other agents, it will become a powerful ally for the proxies, and naturally this power isn't going to submit so easily. That's really interesting. So it's almost like a wild, untamed power that we're most likely going to have to have it submit to us, or we're going to have to gain control of over time. This is really cool. Beneath the untamed flames, countless secrets still lie unanswered. Of course, we also trust that in the near future, the proxies will be able to fully master it. Whoa. And then look at the character design here, dude. How crazy is this looking? I feel like we definitely have drifted away from season 1. This season 1 designs, and I obviously think it's kind of understandable why people could maybe be a little bit, have a little bit of a question mark over their head looking at someone like Anby and that retro futuristic nostalgic vibe. And now we're getting into more of like a higher fantasy sci-fi thing. But I think this is fucking awesome. It looks so cool. It also, oh man, it also makes me wonder, like, are we going to be playing it as we step on, are we going to be stepping onto the field as the proxies, and then it's going to be like flying around us and fighting for us and protecting us like a JoJo stand? I think that could be so cool, as opposed to just sending it out and having it just go and fight like all the other characters. I'm so interested. I'm also kind of curious, is this character potentially going to be free? It's obviously going to be an S rank, but if it's something that the twins unlock, it would make a lot of sense for them to maybe give it away as a free 5-star. I don't know about the history of this game and if they've done something like that, but if they were to do that, I wouldn't be too surprised. So that could be really cool, especially for new accounts coming into the game. You could unlock a very cool character almost right off the bat. And it does seem to be that if they're going to be unlocking more powers as time and the story goes on, this could be a new mechanic that we're going to be dealing with in the game in the future. This is going to be unlocked in, I guess, at some point in 3.0. But for the gameplay moving forward, having 2 agents that you play with, and then potentially having Phaethon on the battlefield as well, with a stand-like creature and power that you can interact with and also play on the field with, I think it's kind of cool. Maybe there's going to be some sort of, I don't know about customizability or anything like that. I don't think that is going to be in the cards, besides maybe a couple of outfits that are going to cost money. But, you know, I kind of understand people's concern about this game drifting a little bit away from what it was in season 1, what that season 1 promise was. However, this is a cool shakeup, I will say. So I think before I get my tidy whities in a knot about it, I think I want to watch and see how this plays out. I think that's what I'm going to do. So this is a combat avatar. In this new adventure, the proxies will participate in combat in a way never seen before. When summoning the etheric order Pyrois into combat, the proxy can perceive anything it senses and fight shoulder to shoulder with it. So it does sound like maybe we're actually going to be on the field fighting with it, which I think is going to be really cool. Maybe it's going to be like a puppet master kind of vibe, you know, like your character like kind of puts their hand out and then it goes in for like a swing, like a strike. It could almost be maybe almost like a long range puppet master style play style, instead of doing like the perspective of Pyrois or however you want to say it. I think my main thing that I want from this is I just want to feel like I have a stand from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. For those of you who don't know, there's an anime called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, fantastic anime. And essentially people can summon manifestations of their soul and their will and their blazing spirit. And summon something called a stand, which is like incredibly powerful, has got insane broken abilities and does basically the fighting for them. But they kind of like fight together in a way, right? Like the player commands them in a way. So I think if we could get that, Hoyo, let's do that, please. Okay, thank you. Also, something to point out, it looks like we may be getting maybe another skin. Like if you look at Belle, she's got like a different uniform on. I don't know if we already have that or anything, but that's so cool. The character design is also like so interesting. It's like a blind crown. Very cool design with long black hair, just like Belle. No, Belle's got short black hair, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of like star and circle and very etheric looking sort of character. I'm guessing this character, this summon, comes from the ether as well. It's going to be an ether, I think it's going to be an ether playable character, right? It also says here, sandbox gameplay, so I guess this is when you're out running around. At the same time, Pyrois has an unusually sharp instinct and sense for ether. Running into certain special ether phenomena while exploring might just unlock some new possibilities. Okay. Once you've started to master Pyrois, the proxy will unlock even more special methods for exploring and getting around the field. Brand new playstyles await your discovery, proxies. So it does look like the game is moving in a direction where the combat is going to be evolving. Overall, I guess I could understand if this makes some people worried. However, I feel like I can trust this game's combat vision, and we'll see where it goes. Again, I could be, dude, I could be totally wrong. I've been wrong about games before, but it's pretty clear that the devs have a vision for this game and a vision of how they want to evolve it, because this is what's happening. This is what's happening to this game. It seems to be evolving. Obviously, change is you know, not great for a lot of people, and if we change too much from the original vision of the game, I would definitely have some concerns about that as someone who is really just starting to get into the game and enjoying it. You know, don't change it too much, please. However, this idea of having, you know, a stand and the faith in team gets to fight on the field as well. I feel like that's something people probably are curious about, so I'm pretty excited to see that they are exploring that. However, this is just a first look into this new design. So we'll obviously talk about it when they release, say, character demos and character teasers, and we'll get more of a vibe of actually what's going on closer to the patch. And if there's no story spoilers, or maybe if there's no story spoilers, I'll cover it. Or if I catch up, we'll end up covering it anyway. So let's reconvene when more info comes out. But I did want to report on that and let you guys know what's going on, because it is pretty exciting. All right, that's all I got to talk about. Peace.